In a fresh twist to the Jet Etihad deal, details emerge of a former envoy batting for the aviation deal. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy has approached the apex court now with this new piece of evidence, and the matter is likely to come up for hearing today.
It's a partnership that's gone through considerable turbulence. But barely 5 months after the Jet Etihad deal was given an all-clear, comes this fresh twist. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy approaching court with fresh evidence.
This letter would show that the reason was not on merit. That, this is a commercial deal between India and UAE. It would turn out it's basically a way, it is a kind of a sop given by the government of India to cool down the tempers of UAE.
Claiming the previous government repeatedly batted for the deal, intervening through various emissaries. Swamy backing his claims on these documents. Notes by former Indian ambassador to the UAE, M.K. Lokesh, to the Aviation Ministry, 1 year before the final nod to the deal. In the letter dated 15th April 2013, the former envoy writes, and I quote, "Etihad's investment in Jet Airways will impact India's policy to attract FDI in the civil aviation sector." On the 21st of April, the ambassador sent another letter. 3 days later, Jet Airways and Etihad signed a strategic alliance.
While the ambassador in this letter clearly states that this deal is for the interest of the country, Swamy says that this letter, dated April 15, 2013, clearly indicates that the envoy was pushing and nudging even before the deal was sealed. So who was this envoy representing?
These fresh notes submitted by Swamy to court, coming months after your channel accessed this email by the present envoy, advising the tangles be ironed out.
Interdepartmental meeting of secretaries opposed it. A whole lot of people opposed it. Only Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Ajit Singh and two other ministers, Mr. Sharma, Anand Sharma and Salman Khurshid, they were pushing for it. And national interest has been sold down the river.
And now the latest documents raising questions. Was the Jet Etihad deal being routed through more than one Indian envoy, as Swamy claims? And why was there unprecedented intervention to push a corporate sector deal in the first place? Bureau Report, Times Now.
Aditya is joining us for a fresh input on this story. Aditya, what we just heard, Subramaniam Swamy clearly alleging that the previous government had gone ahead with the Jet Etihad deal on the basis of vested interests and ulterior motives. National interest was compromised with, is what he alleges. What is the information that we have on this story, and what is the fate of this deal at the moment?
Well, absolutely. That is the key question at this moment. Was national interest really compromised in the Jet Etihad deal? Because the new documents revealed by none other than Subramaniam Swamy, who is at the forefront of these investigations and the court case, really reveal a lot. In fact, Times Now is in access of that particular letter written last year by none other than the ambassador of India in UAE, who was desperately trying to lobby for this bilateral agreement, even as the case was sub judice. In fact, I would like to at this point read from the second page, first paragraph of this particular letter, which mentions the UAE government has recently suffered some setbacks with regard to their investments in India. For instance, they had to write off the $1 billion US deal consequent to the cancellation of the 2G. So it desperately tries to give different kinds of excuses for this bilateral to really go ahead. But the most significant and the shocking part of this entire letter writing and lobbying is this assurance from the government of India, even as this case is sub judice. It states in context to the previous government that in this context, both the External Affairs Minister of that time, that is Salman Khurshid, and Commerce and Industry Minister of that time, that is Anand Sharma, had written to the UAE government assuring them they would address their concerns expeditiously. Now, there have been different meetings that have been taking place, and it is the Indian envoy to the UAE who has been desperately trying to really figure a way out of this entire process. Now, we know how this case is sub judice in the Supreme Court. Recently, there has been a notice issued to the government of India to bring in different documents. One of them also includes some conversations with lobbyist Neera Radia. But at this moment, the big question is when this letter is produced before the court, how will the court take cognizance of it? Because Subramaniam Swamy has been desperately trying to convince the court that this deal is not okay. Of course, there are some vested interests in this particular deal, but certainly this shocking letter will be really produced in the Supreme Court today, later sometime today, and finally we might see some more expose regarding the Jet Etihad deal, which of course was written in the previous UPA regime. Will the current government really have some kind of a probe, some kind of investigation, or will the court really go ahead with this? Is of course for the court to decide, but certainly this explosive letter will be produced by Subramaniam Swamy in the Supreme Court today.